Today we are going to have jokes with Nate. Nate, take it away.
All right. My life.
Welcome to the Apostolic. Okay.
a little too far-fetched.
I love it. Welcome to the very first episode of the Apostolic Vangelist. This is going to be a platform to have conversations about issues and things that young apostolics face on a day-to-day basis. And today we have the youth pastor from Pentecostal Lighthouse Church here in Wilson, North Carolina, who is also the youth president for North Carolina, who is also the national social media director for the Apostolic Crusaders, and is also the principal of the W.E. Garnett Academy for Education. I don't know the actual name.
Garnett Christian Academy.
Garnett Christian Academy. I don't. Is that all the titles?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Is the one and the only Nate Roberts the second.
What's up?
Well, dude. So tell us. Count. What's your life? What do you do? What do you do in life? What's going on?
I try to stay busy to the best of my ability. I spend a lot of time on social media. I spend a lot of time on my computer. Used to be it was just for fun. Now it's because I have to / get to. So I count it an honor to be able to actually do what I do for
all the people writing his checks.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but yeah, it's definitely an honor. I get to work with a lot of awesome people as well, including my pastors. So, yeah, I just get to just try to help out as many people as I can through social media, through graphic design, through anything of that sort, pretty much.
So basically what he's saying is we have the ALJC social media expert with us today, which is good because we are going to be talking about social media and the church. So Nate, is social media a good thing, a bad thing? Is it inherently just a thing? There's a lot, especially the last couple of years, there's been a lot of pushback throughout apostolic ranks of whether apostolic youth should even be on social media, or whether should we ban it? Should we stay off certain platforms? What's kind of as the social media director for the Apostolic Crusaders, kind of what's your take on that, and as a youth pastor too?
Social media it's a dangerous platform in the sense as in it can be a make or break for a few young people, but it really depends on the young person. Because I think all in all, it's a tool, and it's all in how you use the tool. It's not necessarily that there's so many negative influences on social media. You choose who you want to follow.
Yeah.
You choose the content that you want to view, and so really it's up to the young person. It's up to the user as to how they want to view things and as to what they want to put out there as well. So I don't think it's so much as a negative thing, but it can be, again, just depending on the user. But at the same time, just as much as it can be a negative thing, it can be an extremely positive thing and something that causes people to come to your church. And maybe people that don't know your phone number, they can look you up on Facebook real quick or Instagram and send you a direct message, which seems like a lot of even celebrities nowadays, or even maybe people that want to book you for their church will send you a DM or give you a Facebook message, and that's how they'll contact you. I've had a few people do that, even clients alike. So it seems like a great means of contact and outreach in general. So
no, I think I'm definitely on board with that. With all technology that we have right now, whether it's cell phones, whether it's computers, whether it's live streaming, or whether it's video chatting. You can use those things for not good, for pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I've talked with young people and been in situations where perhaps it would be best for that specific young person, to stay off of a particular platform for a period of time, or if that's something that they struggle with. But I also like what you're saying, that social media could be used for good. I think the fact that we have to realize is that our young people, that's where their attention are right now. The young people, their attention is on social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. I was looking up some stats, and young people spend on average 2 hours a day on social media. And I saw some reports, which is probably way high, said some teens spend up to like 9 hours a day, which It's possible.
Probably me. I'm one of them.
Anyone who works with social media probably spends upwards of 9 hours a day on social media.
Yeah.
But the idea of that's where the attention of our young people is. And I feel like at this point, if we try to take the standpoint of pushing back against social media, we're not going to make any leeway in that.
Right.
We're not going to successfully get all the youth in Pentecost to stay off of social media.
Absolutely.
And even if we could accomplish that, what about all the other millions of young people who are on social media who aren't seeing any truth on these platforms?
Exactly.
Because right now there is a lot of filth out there. Like I was saying, it's you choose who you follow, you choose what you follow. And I think that the church as a whole really has not quite stepped up to the social media world yet.
Yeah.
I've seen certain churches, like whether it's Elevation Church or Hillsong, these guys, they're absolutely killing it. They're doing phenomenal things in this space. But the Apostolic Church, I feel like we have not had very good representation on these platforms.
Absolutely.
Have you seen any examples of the apostolic truth really being spread well on these platforms, or can you think of anything that you've seen that has kind of resonated with you?
Not as far as the Apostolic Church goes. I know there are a few churches in our organization that do kind of post on a consistent basis, but
sure.
Kind of like you mentioned Elevation. I personally follow from my account Elevation Church just to see, literally just to see what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
And there's constantly and not just Sunday or Wednesday, but there's constantly little splices from sermons that Pastor Stephen Furtick has delivered, and just little tidbits of information here and there, worship sets, and just all around different stuff to encourage the community, invite them, and make them feel involved and welcome, whether or no matter where they are in the world.
Absolutely.
And and you mentioned young people being encouraged to be pulled away from social media, and I think if we were to do something like that, then I guess the realization is not there that not only would we be removing ourselves from it to where we couldn't view anything, but then anybody else on the platform would not be able to view us.
Yeah.
So not only even with us on there, you don't have much of a presence right now from the Apostolic Church, but if we completely just remove ourselves from it, there's no way possible for the Apostolic Church to have any influence on social media. And if that's where all of our young people's attention are, then I think we need to capitalize on that.
Absolutely.
If that's what people are looking at, do stuff to get them interacted. Instagram has all these, not GIFs anymore, but just tons of different things that you can interact. You can ask questions.
A lot of interactive media.
You can vote this meter thing or whatever. You can do tons of interactive things within the app itself. And and I think that's just tons of stuff that we need to capitalize on. Get churches to open up a question board that people in the community can ask. Anything that you want to know about the church, about the pastor, just open stuff up. Do random giveaways, and I think that's one big thing that a lot of people think. Well, nobody's going to really, care for just a small giveaway online. They want an iPad or something. But if I see if I just type in my name and I can get a $10 Starbucks gift card, I'm typing in my name, 100%. And that's an easy way to get in contact with that person.
Absolutely.
And then you've made, even though it's really small, you've made a little connection there. So I personally, this is not something that I force on people, but I personally disagree with separating from social media, unless it's something, again, like you're addicted to and need some time away from, which I think everybody needs some time away from social media. But not because it's a negative thing necessarily, but just to take time away from it so you can strictly spend time on God and whatever He wants for you.
If you find yourself at the point where you are consuming so much on social media that it's overwhelming you and it's having a negative affect on you, then you probably should step away and reevaluate what you are doing with those platforms. I think anytime you get to that point where every time you open the app it causes destruction in your spirit or causes destruction in your emotional state, reevaluate. You know, take a step back and reevaluate what is my goal with using this application.
Right.
So I definitely think that would be a good place if you find yourself there. Go ahead and step back for a week or two.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not going to be something that you can just feel within yourself either, that it's having a negative influence on you, but you'll be able to tell by the way that you treat others if you spend so much time on it. It's the same thing with games, same thing with TV.
Absolutely.
It can change your attitude, your whole mentality towards other people, you know, whether you realize it or not. You just got to be careful of that. So pay attention to the way that people react to you.
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
So,
and if you're going to go on a social media fast, please make sure you let everyone know that you're going on the fast. Okay, moving on.
I think Brother Josh Wilson actually got somebody one time. I think it was Taylor, our buddy Taylor.
Was it?
Because they said this was before. Now he's actually married now, but way before this took place, I believe he was on a social media fast and was sure to let Brother Josh know. And Josh posted it everywhere. Congratulations on your engagement, and it blew up. And Taylor was getting phone calls out of the wazoo, and it was awesome. It was so awesome.
That's wonderful.
Good stuff.
That's
so you
wonderful.
may just want to get off. I don't know if you want to tell everybody about it.
Just sneak out into the void.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about elevation and some interactive media. Let's jump into some strategies.
Sure.
Let's talk about what can we be doing, whether it's on a church level, whether it's on an organizational level, whether it's on a personal level. What are some strategies and some tactics that we can use to put truth out there? You know, I've been talking to a few pastors since I've been on the road, and the kind of gist I get is, you know, the days of, you know, door knocking in a lot of areas, not all areas, but a lot of areas, it's just over. People aren't going to come. They don't open the doors. They don't want anything to talk to you about.
Right.
But if you can take some of that energy and some of those tactics and put it into the digital realm, that's the new space. You know, that's the new way to reach them. So let's talk about some tactics. You mentioned elevation worship. Elevation does very well. Elevation, Hillsong both do really, really well in the social media world. And
extremely well.
The first thing I think that's worth mentioning is when you look at accounts like Elevation or Hillsong, don't necessarily just blindly copy their tactics, right? Look at what they're doing and try and reverse engineer the strategy behind it. For instance, Elevation, they're posting full-length sermons on YouTube every single Sunday, and they're getting thousands of hits on those sermons. But what you have to realize is that 60% of those hits are coming from YouTube queries of Stephen Furtick or Pastor Furtick preaching.
Right.
You know, a local apostolic church is not going to be, you're not going to have thousands of people searching for your particular pastor sermons. Yeah. You know, so I don't know that you want to blindly copy tactics that you see Elevation or a church like Hillsong doing, but let's talk about the strategy behind it for sure, and kind of see what they're doing. The biggest thing that you'll notice is that, at least the first thing that I notice, is their platforms are diversified. So whether it's Facebook and Instagram, they're not just posting the same things.
Right.
It's not like, okay, we posted this picture on Instagram, we're going to repost it on Facebook. You'll see a lot of, especially with Elevation, a lot of event and atmosphere pictures on Instagram.
Right.
They really play up here's the atmosphere of what's going on, and it's just sharing the atmosphere. So when someone's, you know, a lot of times you'll see apostolic churches have websites and it's like about us or what to expect. Instagram is the perfect place to tell someone what to expect. You know, just put those pictures of atmosphere, of worship, of what the space is like that you worship in, what highlighting people, what some other things you've seen on their Instagram.
Just any type of way, kind of like you said, like anybody just greeting different things that happen while we're in service, before and after.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, whenever they see the just pictures mainly in service of people singing and leading worship, you know, they're kind of influenced by that. But when you see somebody online, you see the pastor himself off of the platform shaking someone's hand and greeting somebody. You can tell there's a genuine spirit.
It makes it authentic
at the end. Yeah. So I think that plays a big role in it as well. So
absolutely. And then so Instagram can be a really great place just to have atmospheric content. But if you look through their accounts, it's not, like you said, it's not a post on Wednesday and a post on Sunday. It's curated content.
Yeah.
A lot of it you'll just plain pictures, but you'll also see pictures with short call out quotes on it, and that are done tastefully.
Yeah.
Done tastefully.
Not something you're not trying to slander everybody in your community. You want to make them feel welcome. Not that it's not okay to preach, holiness and the truth and
absolutely
and straightness, but more so stuff that's church related to your church people. But that's probably not stuff you want to say, hey, you're invited to church, watch this video that tells you how in the wrong you are. So you may want to try to do stuff more so to draw people in.
And be sparing when you start putting text on images. Be sparing. Don't put the whole paragraph. If you're gonna do a pull quote from the message, put a pull quote. Don't type the whole message and try to post the image of it on Instagram. Let's jump over to Facebook. Facebook, sure. I really like what Elevation does on Facebook. You will see a lot of short video clips from the message, and you'll always see captions on it. Captions are so important. Just in kind of a side note, but all the videos that I have pushed on my channels or the church's pages that I've managed, 96 to 97% of those videos are played without sound. So if you are posting a video with a talking head and you do not have captions, no good. Very bad. But the reason I want to talk about video is there was a interview that Mike Zuckerberg did, I think it was 2016, and he said in this interview that within the next 5 years, Facebook will be mostly, if not all, video. So I'm interested to hear your perspective on this as well. Running, a national account, how do you see engagement play out on Facebook between video, between images, and between copy? How do you kind of see the engagement interaction play out?
I believe it gives itself away pretty much in Instagram, to where a lot of youth don't even have a Facebook, but they have an Instagram account. Even if they don't have Twitter, they have an Instagram account. And it's all about show and tell, pretty much. This is where I am. This is what I'm doing. It's a very visual world. People don't just want to say stuff. They want to actually speak their mind and show what's actually taking place. And so I still think it's a great idea to kind of give insight on what's going on. It's a lot better than just reading newspaper and explaining this is how our church services are, versus here's a look at how our church services are. Here's a look at what we experience Sunday to Wednesday. Here's a look at how our outreach program goes, and you can actually see these people getting baptized. The evidence is there, and just the visual content in general. You have Netflix, you got Hulu, you got all this kind of stuff, all these different video services, all these television companies and television programs are not necessarily just taking their content away from cable TV and all that good stuff, but they're creating apps because they know that people are on their phones and they're downloading apps and they're willing to pay monthly payments just to watch videos on their phone. Even stuff that they've already seen before. And so I'm for it. If that's the direction that's going to go, then I think that's fine, because that's where everybody's going through social media, is just pictures and video and stuff. So that's the way that content's going to be out. Then
copy updates. And I say copy, I mean just like plain text updates. Sometimes if there's a specific ask in it, I've seen those work really well, but a lot of times it gets lost.
Right.
It's not jumping out.
Because there's so much visual content that as you're scrolling through your feed, you don't even see just the plain status updates.
So if you're just doing text on your social media platforms, bump it up. Throw in some photos. And if you've been doing photos, step it up to videos, because you will find such a leap in engagement when it comes to videos, and not necessarily just long form content. You see a lot of churches really stepping up to the live stream and really getting that and going well. But if you look in the stats, at least at our home church, when I look into the stats of those long form videos, you see this. They'll tune in for a while, but the vast majority drops off relatively quickly. And you might have had a baptism that service, and you put that live stream out, and you're like, wow, we got 1,000 hits on this live stream. but if that baptism was towards the end of the video, it's very possible that 12 people got to that point in the video.
Yeah.
So my biggest recommendation is short form video content. And you don't have to be a master video editor to do this. Just basic editing software. You just take your live stream even and just cut a minute segment out of it and post that 1 minute segment. You can have like a link in the top or something to say, oh, if you want to watch the full thing, go here. But just take a 1 minute segment. I say 1 minute because Instagram's current limit right now is 1 minute. But even Facebook, like 1 to 2 minutes. And then even just grabbing a camera or even grabbing your phone. Most phones have, the iPhone 10 has a 4K camera on it now?
Right. Yeah.
Like you can take 4K video, right on your iPhone. So just
easily. Even
while the pastor's preaching, he gets going, just pop up there and take, a minute worth of video, and then just post that as a 1 minute recap. You're gonna find a lot better engagement on short form content.
Right.
A lot of the times.
Absolutely. And the stuff that I know many people were like, I don't want my face all over the internet, and stuff like that. They don't want to post, I guess, necessarily portrait photos. There are plenty of applications that you can just go up there and type in one word and it'll give you fonts, it'll give you different backgrounds and stuff. So if you're wanting to throw a post or a quick article or something on Facebook about holiness or about the Word of God, you can just throw a quick photo together and literally just put the word Bible or put the word holiness on there, and just that simple, even though it's below the article header, I guess, to grab people's attention, that'll capture an audience alone.
What are some apps that you have used for?
Typic is one big one that I use. TYPIC.
Okay.
I use that one. That one primarily for adding stuff on top of photos.
Sure.
So if I have a photo that I've already taken, I can take fonts and different things and place them on there.
Absolutely.
And then there's another one. I think Brother Josh Wilson actually introduced it to me. It was Typorama.
Typorama.
So some along those lines.
TYPORAMA.
Yes. And then as far as photo editing goes, I'm gonna open up my little book thing here. Visco, VSCO. I use that just for photos itself. That's a really, really quick. It's almost like a bunch of presets for.
And that's free, isn't
Lightroom.
it?
It is free.
Like $1 too?
It is free. Yeah.
Okay.
You can download it for free, but if you want more presets, want a few more different things, you can pay a subscription. I think it's like $10 a year or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah.
It's not bad.
No, so not compared to the other programs.
You're paying $55 a month for Adobe.
Yeah, so not too shabby, but
but
yeah. So anything like that, if you don't have access to like a Canon camera, any other high scale DSLR, you just have your smartphone. That's really all you need. Just get a smartphone and get a solid app, and you can post decent content. Of course, eventually you're going to want to grow and expand from there. But it's a great way to start, in a very inexpensive way to start.
And everything we have just said, if you do not do it consistently, all goes out the window.
Yes.
You can have the most beautiful post you've ever seen in your life, and you post it, and you get really good engagement. And if that's the only thing you post in the whole month, you're not going to see anything from it.
You'll lose engagement on next month's post, and then it'll just continue to die down from there.
Yeah.
People follow people who are consistent. Like I said, that's why I follow Elevation. They're constantly, day by day, posting things, multiple things a day. But not only do they post multiple things a day, but they don't post it back to back. Like, you don't see a clutter of posts from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
It's like 5 posts from 10 to 10:05.
Yeah,
okay.
and then they're done.
We got it
for the rest of the day. So they're actually panned out. So, because, I don't spend, I'm sure the statistics that mention, the 2 hours that are spent on social media is not somebody sitting there for 2 hours, but it's obviously throughout the day, someone's picking up their phone, peeking, and then going down. So whenever you pick it up, you have a brand new post, and you're constantly, having something at the top of somebody's timeline that they're seeing, they're consistently being reminded.
Yeah.
Stuff that's going on at this church, stuff that this church is doing, encouraging things from pastor, and they're constantly having that influence on their mind and into their eyes of your church and what your church has to offer. So
how often should a church account be posting content?
How often?
Yeah, like, are we talking, you said, Elevation's like at a couple times a day. Is that something that realistically we need to be shooting for?
I don't think you have to necessarily post a couple times a day. I think definitely on the daily, because that's how often people use social media, you know, day by day by day. So I think at least one solid post a day would do great. And again, it's something to where, I mean, there's a lot of days, and there are going to be days that your social media director is probably going to forget to design something or make content for it. But that's whenever you need to do, kind of like you said, just take a clip from a sermon that was posted and share that.
Go to your live stream and just snip.
But you got the recording now on iPhones. You can just screen record stuff.
Literally do it on your phone.
And take that, post it. But please make sure that you trim it down to where you don't see your feed sliding up and the person pressing record again. Like, trim it down, you know, especially if it's on your church page. If it's your personal, you do what you want to do. But
no,
you know,
please don't. Go trim it on your personal too.
You know, you want it to be, you know, solid content. But I think at least once a day is really, really good, and it's consistent. But if you post more than once a day, don't do it back to back. You know, let some time, you know, pan out. I know for Facebook you can schedule posts.
Exactly.
And I know there's apps that work with Instagram that
Hootsuite.
You can schedule posts with that. I usually don't. What I usually do with my Instagram accounts is and I just have an alarm on my phone because I don't want to pay any more subscriptions and stuff. So but if you go in your Instagram app and you type out your caption, you have your edits, whatever you want on there, you have your caption, have your tags, whatever you want to tag, you get all that done. If you just back out and save it as a draft, it saves your tags, it saves your caption, saves everything. So literally, if you want to go in there and do that for each one of your posts for the week, all you have to do is open your app, click the photo, and click share, and then you're good from then on out. So if you want to take like an hour or 30 minutes to get all your stuff,
and I think that's the key, especially when you start to transition from doing 1 or 2 posts a week to like tackling a daily posting schedule. Curating content is the key. You have to, especially at least with, you know, on our personal accounts, and I think that's probably where a lot of the churches get it from, because I mean, people are running these accounts, they get it from how they personally use social media. A lot of times personally, you don't a lot of times see people taking a picture and be like, I'm gonna post this picture on Thursday. They snap the picture, it's in the moment, and then they post it. You know, it's very reactionary. I just took a cool picture, I'm out with my friends, I'm gonna post it, I want everyone to see the cheesecake that we waited 2.5 hours to eat.
That happened. It did. It was closer to 3.
It was definitely 3.5 hours. Thanks, Brian. But it's very reactionary. And the biggest thing when you start to moving towards wanting to post on a daily or up your posting schedule is sit down, take a Saturday, take a Monday morning, take some day, and sit there and plan out your post. Get all your pictures. Write all your captions, and like you said, just make drafts of it, or even just in your notes application, throw all your copy in, and then on the specified day, just open up the app and copy and paste. You know, but if you will sit down and take that time to curate content for the next week, you're not gonna miss days because you forget.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
I think that covered it.
I'm for it.
All right.
You
mentioned interactive media. Let's talk about that a little bit. You see a lot of interactive things on, like, especially Instagram stories right now. You see these questions, you see polls, you see, what else do you see? There's one more that there's question and polls, and I thought there was something else.
You can vote. They have
vote. Question, polls, and vote.
Emoji. Yeah, something like that.
So what I've seen some things where people have said, like, for church accounts, like, well, do you have any prayer requests? And literally just putting the question thing there. And then from their youth groups, getting prayer requests from the youth automatically. We're gonna start it again. All right. We're talking about using, like, the question on Instagram stories, and that's another thing. Perhaps if you can't post every single day, or you don't want to post, or even in addition to that, use stories, because stories are a great way to get 15 seconds. The coolest thing about stories is you have their entire screen. You have their attention for however long they're on that story.
And everything you need is provided right there.
Exactly.
You have backgrounds, text, fonts, everything. You don't even have to have another app to use that.
I mean, you could open up stories, design something, save the story, and then post it to Facebook or post it to Instagram. Like, you could use that as your editor.
Very true.
But one guy in Louisville that I've noticed who's doing a really, really good, cool job with the stories and with Instagram TV is posting this short form content of inspirational or doctrinal things. His name's Merritt Griffiths. Merritt, dude, you're killing it. Whether it's like 4 to 5 minute videos, now that's kind of, you know, step up of kind of like some doctrinal things and throwing it on Instagram. But when I went down to their church in Louisville a few weeks ago, and I was so impressed on how much unity was in the youth group and how much they just engaged with each other, and even in the altars, and just such unity. And I'm not saying that's all from social media, but what you see as an extension of that is you'll see, I saw him one time post, you know, what does the Holy Ghost mean to you? Send me a video back. And then he did a compilation video and put it in his story on his account of all the responses. Just creative ways where you can interact. Don't just blast stuff out, you know?
Right.
You can interact with them. You can ask questions. You can pull content from them. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Tons of stuff. Yeah, just anything to that extent. I love that idea too, getting the community and getting the young people to give in their input, and then you share it back with everybody, because all that stuff is personally sent to you, and then it's good to hear from a different perspective. So especially it's refreshing, kind of like a pastor constantly preaching, but then getting to go to a conference and actually receiving something. You know, it's something different that they're not used to. So it's the same thing as, instead of the same content on a consistent basis from the same exact person, you know, you get different people's insight on what holiness is, what the Holy Ghost means, and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
I love that. Anything like that, any giveaways, anything that you can get to interact. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Any kind of stuff. And a lot of times, like you said on the stories, I think stories are really blowing up because it's almost like a public Snapchat. So like people are more prone to respond on your stories just because they're used to doing it on Snapchat, and now that they're not allowed to be on Snapchat anymore, they'll respond to you on your stories, and you know, they're up there for 24 hours. So it's almost like forcing you as well to keep posting consistent, updated content. And yeah, I think Instagram stories are a huge deal. I think the other day, just yesterday morning actually, we're doing our vacation Bible school, and I recorded a quick video on my phone to advertise that outside by the sign that we're using.
There was an inflatable dinosaur involved.
There was an inflatable dinosaur. It was awesome. But so on the way, I remember on the way to the sign where we were actually going to film it, I grabbed my phone real quick and pulled it up and opened up our church account in my app, and I was like, I'm gonna just post a story real quick. And so I just slid it open and I recorded myself. Hey guys, this is Doc, as the character. Showed the dinosaur in the background, and getting ready for VBS. Hope to see you guys there tonight. And I probably got 4 or 5 people within the hour or 2 hours saying, hey, what time is it? This is for your vacation Bible school. You know, when do I pick up my kid after? And like just immediately, just from, you know, no edits, no text, nothing fancy, anything. I just recorded myself and posted it to the church page. It was pretty much instantly engagement. You know, I invited people through an Instagram story and encouraged them to send us a message if they had any questions, and it's exactly what they did. So it's easy, you know, audience engagement.
Exactly. It's just a point of contact. You don't have to spend 3 hours walking around your neighborhood putting door hanger tags on necessarily. I mean, you can do that, but I mean, you can literally take 10 seconds, pull out your phone, record into the story, throw it up on there, and within 20 minutes you have 5-10 people asking you, oh, hey, what time's this start? Hey, what time's that start?
Absolutely.
Or even what I've seen some people doing is, especially like a youth pastor or someone in that regard, from their personal account even, just taking almost like a little mini series and take 15 seconds or 30 seconds or 45 seconds, cut it up into segments, and just have a few seconds of talking to camera about apostolic doctrine. You know, I would rather see a young person, you know, while they're flipping through stuff, like, how awesome would it be if, like, oh, just non-anom stuff, oh, this is just friend, those friends, and then boom, it's just like truth. 15 seconds of just truth. And even just like talk with your pastor, you know, it's like, hey, can I record you for 15 seconds? No, do you have just a quick thought from your sermon on Sunday or your sermon coming up, and just saying, hey, you know, we're talking about this on Sunday. Just, you know, ways to seed in little bits of truth among all that chaos. I think it's a really interesting point too. Like, this doesn't just apply to church accounts.
Right.
This doesn't just apply to, national accounts. Your personal account, you can use it, just to tell everyone what you ate this morning, or you could also use it to put some truth into your audience.
Absolutely.
Look at church attendance. We have a lot of churches in America are around the 100 mark. Some a little under, but there's a lot around that 100 mark. Just look how many friends you have on Facebook or followers right now on Instagram. It's probably more than that. Does that like sink in, like how big of an opportunity you have? And you don't have to get on there and preach to people like all the time, but just some kind of inspiration, just something to spread a little bit of truth, or I'm looking forward to church on Sunday, or just something. You have a huge audience, capitalize on that.
Absolutely. Don't have a double standard. If you claim to live it, just day by day, live it on the internet.
Yeah,
as
let
well,
it reflect.
So
absolutely.
I definitely live that out. One other thing I was gonna throw that out there, which first touching on that same subject, even if you can't just think of stuff that you feel like would encourage people, share your church's content. If your church is posting on that consistent basis, just share their story. You don't have to give your input on it. You can just share exactly what they said and repost their caption and everything, and to kind of make sure that helps get the word out, because most likely in your community you're not going to have a whole lot of people. This is just in general. There are some churches out there just have a massive following, some apostolic churches that do.
Sure.
But most likely you're going to have more people on your friends list than you have likes on your church page.
That's true. No, yeah.
And so the best way to try to reach your community with your church is to share that from your personal account and your personal story, your personal timeline, whatever you want to call it, is to just kind of share your own insight. Thank you, sir. Is to share your own insight on your account and your church, and to invite people through that. Don't fully rely on just your church's account. We can always use all the help that we can to spread the gospel. So even the Apostolic Crusaders account, if we just posted that National Youth Convention registration was open, then cool. But it really doesn't matter that much if not all of our youth pastors and youth presidents
people start sharing it. Yeah, exactly.
And so that's a big make or break thing as well. If you're just posting it and it's just sitting there, then it's one thing. But whenever people start sharing it and tagging their friends in it, that's another. You get a whole lot more engagement. And then with Facebook, I'm not sure on the Instagram side of things. I know you can sponsor posts on Instagram, but I'm not exactly sure how that works to the full extent.
Yeah, it's all tied in Ad Manager now.
Yeah, I know that you can on Facebook pay like $5, and then all around your county or your parish, if you live in Louisiana, no matter where you're at, you can pay like $5.
Yeah.
And have it spread out and boosted and like forced onto everybody's timelines in your area, to where whether they follow you or not, they see your post, they see your content.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's going to say sponsored or ad or whatever, but I've seen it even to where it's not necessarily something that just shows up on their timeline, but they open up a video and there's an ad that plays before their video shows on Facebook. And I've seen churches' ads be played before a Facebook video that they could be watching, chicken runs away from some, I don't know what kind of videos that you watch, cool cat videos. I think those are outdated. I don't know, but
it might be a little outdated.
It could be. So, but anything like that, I've seen like church ads from apostolic churches in that community be played before those videos. So I mean, like it's $5.
Yeah.
You spend $5 to $10 to get that stuff boosted.
You can have an extra faces. Like 1,000, 2,000 impressions off of a $5 boost.
Simply like that, and it's just. I think it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do that?
And especially when you get to your especially once you start really curating content, and like if you post a video about the atmosphere of your church or something, boost it and have your whole church share it, because you can have a video, like you said, you can have 800 likes on your page, and if you just share it to your page, you might get 800 people see it, but you boost it and then 30 people in your church share it, suddenly you've got 4,000, 6,000, 7,000 views on a video that might have went to 600 people when you started off. And there's very easy things. If you are an account manager, look up Facebook Ad Manager, because you can specifically choose distribution between Instagram, between Facebook, and really pinpoint exactly where you want to go. So if you are running an account, look at Facebook Ad Manager.
Absolutely.
It's phenomenal. Man, you want to wrap this up? Well, what's the biggest takeaways? What's the big takeaways?
Biggest takeaways from today's conversation.
Don't run away from social media.
Don't do it. Use it. Use it to the best of your ability. You're not going to quit playing video games, so use social media as your platform. No, use it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Reach souls on it. Don't be fake on it. Don't. We could dive in deep with it, but we're not going to. But let's.
And tomorrow's episode on
on young people and social. No, but yeah. So you use it as a tool. Let's use it. You don't just fully rely on printed out flyers. Let's get people in the church. You have a voice. People follow you. Not just in real life, but people follow you on social media.
People are following you in real life.
You may need to call help.
Please
call the number in the description. No, but seriously, just please use it to the best of your ability to draw people in, because like we've said, and like the statistics say, people are always on it, and they're constantly looking for content.
That's where the attention's at.
Constantly looking for stuff to follow, to view. I know if I scrolling through somewhere through a recommended. Like the Explorer page on Instagram or whatever, people are constantly looking for stuff to follow that interests them. Give them something to be interested in. Let them know how awesome your God is, and why you love Jesus so much, and why you believe in the Holy Ghost. It's just easy stuff like that. So.
And if a church who doesn't have the full truth, who doesn't preach Holy Ghost, who doesn't preach baptism in Jesus' name, who doesn't preach all that, can spread so much love and so much goodness on their pages, and every time a person who might not completely in church or who's thinking about it, if they can see that every single day, how much more should we be doing that with the truth? Right. Like that's our responsibility to share that. How much more should we be doing? Let's do it.
Amen.
In Jesus' name, this whole episode is going to live on iTunes at the Apostolic Vangelist, Vangelist. I do not like spelling. I should not have jumped into that. Or you can search for @Jordon P. Frye on either iTunes podcast or Spotify. We'll have a video recap up on Facebook and YouTube if you want to listen to the entire episode. It was really good. We had some really good conversations. Please go and listen to the whole episode. If you have any other questions or things that you want a deeper dive into about perhaps marketing strategies or social media strategies or anything completely unrelated to what we've talked about today, put it in the comments below. Nate, thank you so much for being here. It's been a blast. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.